As you can see behind me is the world famous City Ground, home to Nottingham Forest. And this documentary, I'm going to be showing you fans throughout the years and their experiences from generation to generation. I've taken 5 people to interview, each from different areas of Nottingham Forest, and put them up against the same questions to see if their experiences are the same or if they're different. The reason why I'm doing this is to show how strong Nottingham Forest can be as a community. Just say who you are.
Now?
Yeah.
Ross Wilson.
And how long has it been since you've been supporting Forest?
1954.
Well, good morning, Connor. My name's Alan Breaton. I started supporting Forest, let me think, going back, I would have been about 12, so 1966, around there, the year England actually won the World Cup.
Hi, my name's Oliver. I'm from Eastwood and I support Nottingham Forest for about 10, 15 years now.
Hiya, my name's Neil Griffin, 60-year-old. I live in Eastwood, Nottingham. Well, I'm 60-year-old, I think probably 55 years ago, probably 1970, 71.
Hi, my name's Richard Wing. My earliest recollection of watching Forest would be the 79 European Cup final, at which age I'd probably be between 7 and 8.
What would you say the best part about supporting Forest is?
Atmosphere. Yeah, you can feel it, depending on... I mean, we've always walked to the ground coming out of Nottingham, so you can feel the momentum building. And then as you get to Trent Bridge to cross it, that's when you really start to feel it. And then especially at night, winter nights, you get there and, you know, it's floodlit. It builds from there.
I think the best thing about supporting Forest is just being part of the community. You know how much it means to Nottinghamshire, you know, on all of the NG postcode going all the way, even into like Derbyshire. There's some people that don't like to admit they support Forest, even though they, you know, don't live in Nottingham. But I think it's such a great fan base to bring together different generations of Forest fans, and especially, you know, just great memories that people can bring together to...
Best part, for me, it's the atmosphere. You really can't beat match day atmosphere. I mean, you know, people watch the television if it's live on the TV, but you absolutely can't believe going down the City Ground, pre-match, during the match, the whole atmosphere is, well, it's spine-tingling, hairs and back of your neck stand up, brilliant.
Well, I've supported them all the while through the ups, the downs, the promotions, the demotions.
What would you say is the best part, though?
I don't know, really. I go from 1959 FA Cup, which was absolutely brilliant because we won it the only time we did, and then the European Cups.
I've always had a passion, and I always think anybody that supports any sort of team has a passion, and I think that it's unique. I think sometimes football rivalry and sometimes the expectations of football clubs. So yeah, it's a unique sport.
Why did you start watching Nottingham Forest?
I just think that football within your own town and own city, it's slightly different now where the internet, you're allowed to watch a team from across the world. I think when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the only way you went to watch a football team was down your local team.
7 and 8, unbeknown to me, a European final was the norm. We did it that year. We just happened to do it the following year. And then the Super Cup, and then, you know, at 8, 9, you think that's what it's all about.
Well, I would say I was brought up, Connor, in West Bridgeford. I live with my mum in sort of bedsits around Bridgeford, and we lived very near the ground. And I suppose it was just convenience. Well, again, I remember we at the time I think we lived on a road called Balmoral Avenue, which is just along from the ground, and we lived in a sort of bedsit, and in the top bedsit was a couple of students. And they took me. I remember the first time they took me, and it was a Tottenham Hotspur game. And I just went from there, I suppose. So, yeah, it was the convenience and the fact I was taken there. And
Well, I think it's in the blood, you know, with my granddad, my dad, my auntie, not necessarily my uncle, but...
Why is that, Oliver?
Yeah, because he supports Arsenal, you know, someone's got to.
What is the biggest heartbreak you've experienced while supporting Forest?
I know many people are going to have loads of stories, you know, from different generations that you're going to speak to. I think my one is when we were in the League One playoff final against Yeovil. Just because it has such a good memory for our family with making bets and, you know, knowing that 80% of the household, 90% of the household were all Forest fans, and bless her, my mum didn't really care about the football, so she normally cheered for the opposite team to try and, you know, rile up some of the family members that had come round and watched the game. And one time she ended up betting on Yeovil on this playoff. I think it was a semi-final or final to try and get up. And yeah, she ended up winning the bet from my uncle, winning £60 or £100 out of his wallet.
Losing Joe Baker before a semi-final, FA Cup semi-final, he got injured. Then we played Spurs and we lost.
I think when Brian Clough left, because obviously we had those, but pre-Brian Clough we were in what they called the old second division, which today is the Championship. Yeah. And we were a mid-table, not particularly good. But then, you know, Cloughie came and we had the really good years where we won the title, the games against Liverpool. We were the two top sides in England.
Forest fans have had some heartache, some close calls. You'd never like to see one of your players get injured, whether it's this year with Danilo. I was there when Bristol Sambalonga detached his kneecap. Chrissy Cowan, we saw what he had. So you feel for them players that have that. Personally, when I never doubted we was going to do something and we slipped up, would be the Yeovil game, I think. We went in there, streets ahead of them, and then absolutely fell apart and lost.
Losing 3-1 at Derby. Losing the FA Cup final to controversial decisions during the match. Paul Gascoigne should have got sent off. Numerous things. So yeah, probably losing 3-1 against Derby and the FA Cup final.
The main message that we can take out of those 5 interviews is that Nottingham Forest has the strongest community in English football. The community is what strives Nottingham Forest to be better every single day and get better at every match. Thank you so much for watching this documentary. How can you best describe Forest in one word?
Magic.
Yes!
Forest to magic on and off the pitch.